It is frustrating that we spend, a year to 2 years developing a product and 6 months afterwards having it knocked off at half the price. It's very, very frustrating. We kind of always pride ourselves on the fact that when you buy our product, you're buying it once because we're going to be here, even if you break it, we can still fix it. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Cinema 5D on the Go. Moving conversations about moving images with filmmakers and industry leaders. Brought to you by Tilta, Blackmagic Design, Manfrotto, and Olympus OMD in association with Sony. This is your host, Nino Leitner.
Where do you guys, in terms of business, I'm sure times are not getting easier.
Right.
Because, a lot of Asian manufacturers, let's put it that way, do knockoff products. And I think it's even here. You see Chinese companies getting more and more professional, where you really see new emerging kind of global players in some fields where they put in so much money in making these companies big. It's just, how is it possible to compete with these people? It's a broad question.
I'm not sure we can compete on price.
Yeah,
right.
I think
service.
I think customer service is going to be paramount to compete with them.
Yep.
And the quality of the product that you produce.
And availability as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is that we hear a lot of times where customers will buy things from, some Asian companies, and it may even be a decent product at a good price, but then when they do have a problem, they don't have anybody there to back them up.
Yeah.
Or very difficult to get a hold of them. So until they bring up their customer service, that's where, we're able to, quality companies who care. That's the other thing too. It is frustrating that we spend, a year to 2 years developing a product and 6 months afterwards having it knocked off at half the price. It's very, very frustrating.
And your stuff isn't really expensive, to be honest.
It is compared to the Chinese or the, overseas, the Asian stuff. But yeah, it's still not ridiculous in price. And, we kind of always pride ourselves on the fact that when you buy our product, you're buying it once because we're going to be here, even if you break it, we can still fix it. You know what I mean? And so, you buy quality, you buy it once. That was something my grandfather always taught me.
Yeah.
You buy cheap stuff, you're going to buy it 2 or 3 times. By then, you spent the same amount of money. And the other thing too is you have to think about who you're buying from. Like, where do you want your money to go? That's your choice of how you make that decision. But it's nice knowing, at least for me, like when you're buying from reputable companies that are, providing good quality jobs to good quality people. You're kind of helping the whole group out.
Absolutely.
Especially, and that's the other thing that we pride ourselves on is giving back to productions, helping shooters out whenever we can, and same thing with like workshops and stuff like that. Just trying to help the community out in general.
And you guys produce everything in the U.S., right?
Yep, everything's in the U.S. There's always a couple handful of parts,
of course.
But I would say, I'm going to just guess and say well over 90% of our stuff is made right in Indiana, actually. Yeah, even our soft goods, everything. So
it's amazing. And you guys are in the UK, right?
We are in the UK, yeah.
And manufacturing as well?
We manufacture some of the gears for the follow focus. Some of the stuff comes from Germany.
Okay,
cool. We're the same as everybody else. We have to make other parts overseas.
Yeah.
But the final build and all the technical stuff is done with British engineers.
That's pretty cool. It's become really unique what you guys are doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is, sad in a way that nobody else or a lot of other people are doing it differently. But
I don't think we'll ever compete with those companies on price.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's the competing with the customer service and knowing that somebody's at the other end of the phone where you can speak to them and resolve that problem if you've got an issue. Return the product if it's got damage. It's just being there for the customer when they need you, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. And I think that people more and more recognize that as well. As Cinema 5D, we get sent so much gear to test all the time. Then and a lot of these Asian manufacturers are, you really have to send it back and tell them, guys, this doesn't work. This does not do what it's supposed to do. And then you get another unit and another unit. And it's still the same problem. You send it back and forth, and it's sometimes ridiculous. You feel like you're their beta tester,
right?
Where they don't think.
Well, I think that's where the disconnect is. Is a lot of times they are not coming from the background of a shooter themselves. You know what I mean? And they don't use their own gear. And even if they do, they're not, you know. So I think there's a disconnect there between they're more of like, I just want to be a manufacturer, I just want to make parts. And I think that's where a lot of this has happened from. You know, a lot of countries sent work over to them to make parts, and then they get built up. We're a manufacturer, but they're not really developers, you know. And at least, I'm not saying that all of the companies over there, but the vast majority of them are just, all they want to do is make parts.
True.
And so they just look at pictures or whatever online, we got to make something that looks like this, and then they do it, and it doesn't, you know, they don't actually have the end user helping.
It's like I said earlier, I mean, they're manufacturers, you know. Then there's very little interaction with the end user sometimes.
Yeah.
And for us, that's really important. A lot of our products have come from, you know, feedback from people. Let's change this, or can we do that?
Yep.
And having the ability to speak to the end user quickly, so you can swap stuff around if it's not right. You know, send stuff out. I mean, you said you got stuff sent to yourself, and you feel like you're the tester.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are sometimes very, very. You're just surprised. You know, they tell you something is like built in series already, and you're like, what? You know, that this can't be true.
Yeah, right.
And you literally press one button and it's dead.
Yeah.
Like gimbals is the best example. There's so many Chinese companies making like these one-hand gimbals or knockoffs of, and 99% just don't work. They just don't do what they're supposed to do. So this is, I don't know why this industry is something where everybody wants to go, but it's completely crazy.
Well, I think they're just trying to go wherever the money's at, and you know, there's obviously money here. And we saw it in the paintball gun industry as well. And when it first started out, it was almost all either English companies like WDP or American companies for the most part that were the big manufacturers. And once it got to its peak, all of a sudden you start seeing all this Chinese and you know, and a lot of Mexican products. A lot of stuff came out of Mexico as well at that time, and they were just cheap knockoffs, and just things didn't work for years. You know, and they really had to like start. They were either going to go out of business, or they had to start recruiting people who knew what the products needed to be and bringing them into the. You know, that's one thing that we do now. I mean, even before we sell a product, we have our Kessler shooter group. And we send our products out to our shooter team, and they work in all facets of the industry, whether it's weddings or cinematography or, you know, events, you know, stuff like that. And we say, hey, tell us what you think. And then we also have a couple other, you know, great guys in the industry like Mike Sutton that, you know, we'll say, you know, he's a very good gauge because he worked in the sales industry. And so he can look at the product and say, this will sell, this won't sell. And this, you know, so we bring a lot of different people in that we respect their opinions on to kind of gauge what we're doing and guide us through the project or the process of building a new product. And so it really is built by the end user, not by us. We're just the manufacturer, but we take a lot of feedback in from everyone.
Yeah, I mean, well, on the other hand, there are some big companies now, Chinese companies, that are also have good engineering, and you see that they are getting better and better. So this is definitely something. I mean, the competition is, and they're also innovative. Some of them.
Some of them are. I mean, they're not all just knockoff artists. I mean, there are, you know, quality companies out there that are from China. You know? And my hat's off to them. I mean, anybody that's willing to put in that work and develop their own products, you know, great. I wish them all the best success. You know, just.
I also think another way for us to work against this is don't fight each other. Let's work together. You know, you guys have got some great products. We've got some great. Is there a way where we can marry these products up? You know,
that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah,
too,
you know, it's something worth discussing.
Yeah, Bright Kesslerian.
There you go.
Bright Kesslerine.
Hot off the press at NAB.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first.
Well, awesome, guys. Thanks for this. We have arrived at your hotel, so
well, thank you
I'm
so
happy
much.
to be your Uber driver.
I will give you a 5-star.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll give you a 4.5. Room for
I'll drop you
improvement.
off at the other hotel.
Okay, thank you. Let's get a 5-star.
Okay.
Yeah. So the New York. I've stayed here the first time I was.
I'm just here for the roller coaster.
It's cool. Yeah.
Have you been on it?
Yeah.
Have you been on it?
Yeah, last year I rode it 4 times. So,
My wife wants me to go to Magic Mountain. I'm not going.
No?
No, it's too scary.
Well, thanks for watching this episode of Cinema 5D on the Go. Tune in for our other shows and our show coverage. and see you soon. Thanks for watching.